I'm a microphone. 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 On the 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 microphone.
Good morning, everyone. I think we're working on some streaming challenges right now, so we good? We'll start. So good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Universalist. My name is Larry Kruger, and it is my honor to serve on your board of directors. For those of you who are new to us and members and friends who are tuning in from near and far, welcome. We are so grateful to be able to connect with you this morning. We are a community of many faith journeys and beliefs committed to being deliberately diverse and fully inclusive. We want you to know that whoever you are, you belong here. We are a community that is resilient and committed to healing, does the work that needs to be done, and commits to maintaining and establishing our relationships. Although we have struggled, we have often succeeded in the mission to seek wisdom, build beloved community, and strive for justice in the Richmond area. So let us continue to stand with love. For more information on First UU, visit our website at richmonduu.org, subscribe to our YouTube channel for past services, and log into services 5 to 10 minutes early to catch the preceding announcements. We also invite you to join us for coffee service in President's Hall prior to the 11 a.m. service in the President's Hall. I also have a special announcement today. We have a Thanksgiving potluck scheduled for next Sunday, November 19th, after the second service, roughly between 12:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. There are sign-ups for food and for volunteer opportunities that you can do at the sign-up table right outside the sanctuary, or you can go on to iVolunteer to do sign-ups there, and there's also a link in the newsletter if you need the iVolunteer link. So thank you for being with us today. May this be a comforting, centering, and restorative moment for you.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Sherman Z. Logan, Jr., and I have the honor and privilege of serving this wonderful congregation as your senior minister. Welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church. Joining us this morning to share their musical gifts, UU Youth Ensemble, and our partners in ministry, New Beginning. It is a custom here at First UU that we ask our visitors to introduce themselves. So if you are visiting with us, and if you're comfortable, please raise your hand. The minister, Mike Jamie, will come to you. And when she arrives, please stand and tell us who you are and where you're from.
And I'm from Richmond.
Welcome.
Hello, good morning. I'm Shelby. I'm from Richmond as well.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Amy Eckhart, and this is Tim, Wesley, Lily, and Ben. For those of you that have been members for a really long time, my parents are Bill and Jeanette Henry.
Oh, okay.
So this is the first time we've been back since my mom passed away in 2009. So
Oh, wow.
we're glad to be back.
Welcome back. Okay, we don't have any more visitors, so thank you so much for joining us in this worship service. You've chosen a very special day because today is Living the Pledge Sunday, where we are honoring our work in anti-racism. Thank you. Yeah. Out of the voice of the baby. So please rise in body or in spirit and greet your neighbors and welcome our visitors. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. A call to worship of words by Libby Stoddard. We have come into this room of hope where our hearts and minds are open to the future. We're come into this room of justice where we set aside our fear to name freely every oppression. We're come into this room of love where we know that no lives are insignificant. We're come into this room of song where we unite our voices in somber and the beautiful melodies of life. Come, let us worship together. I now invite the Fitzpatrick Garber family, Tom, Gretchen, Kenji, and Gideon to come to light the chalice as Lynn Edwards does the reading.
Good morning. The reading today is by Rebecca Savage. You guys ready? We light our flaming chalice as a beloved people, united in love and thirsting for restorative justice. May it melt away the tethers that uphold whiteness in our midst. May it spark in us a spirit of humility. May it ignite us in radical love that transforms our energy into purposeful action. This is a chalice of audacious hope. This chalice shines a light on our shared past, signaling our intention to listen deeply, reflect wisely, and move boldly toward our highest ideals. Thank you.
And also thank the Evans families for joining us. Now please rise in body or in spirit and let us sing our opening hymn, We Shall Overcome. It's on the, it should be on the monitor, the words will be on the monitor. If not, it's page 169 in the gray hymnal.
My name is Leanne Luskin. I use she, her pronouns. I have the honor and delight of serving the children and youth and families here at First UU Church of Richmond. I have all my helpers for our Time for All Ages this morning, which is adapted from the work of Ibram X. Kendi and his book, Anti-Racist Baby. We have changed the words a little to Anti-Racist Kids. And I think as you hear these guidelines, you might notice that it applies to anti-racist people. I'm really grateful for all of the kids and grown-ups who have volunteered to share this reading with us, and it feels important to name that our personal social location matters in this work. I am white, my children are white, and the anti-racism work for us looks different than for kids and families of color, for whom survival and joy is an act of resistance. So I invite you to hear these words from our kids with your own social location in mind. So we will get started. Anti-racist kids are taught, not born. Anti-racist kids are raised to make society transform. Kids are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There's no neutrality. So take these 9 steps to make equity a reality.
1, open your eyes to all skin colors. Anti-racist kids learn all the colors, not because race is true. If you claim to be colorblind, you deny what's right in front of you.
2, use your words to talk about race. No one will see racism if we only stay silent. If we don't name racism, it won't stop being so violent.
3, point at policies as a problem, not people. Some people get more while others get less because policies don't always grant equal access.
4, shout, there's nothing wrong with the people. Even though all races are not treated the same, we are all human, anti-racist kids can proclaim.
5, celebrate all our differences. Anti-racist kids don't see certain groups as better or worse. Anti-racist kids love a world that's truly diverse.
6, knock down the stack of cultural blocks.
Anti-racist kids appreciate how groups speak, dance, and create as they choose. Anti-racist kids welcome all groups voicing their unique views.
7, confess when being racist. Nothing disrupts racism more than when we confess the racist ideas that we sometimes express.
8, want to be anti-racist. Anti-racist kids are always learning, changing, and growing. Anti-racist kids stay curious about people that aren't all-knowing.
And number 9, believe we shall overcome racism. Anti-racist kids are filled with the power to transcend, my friend, and we don't judge a book by its cover, but we read until the end. Thank you so much.
Respect for Taylor Swift. She is an amazing songwriter. This piece, it's called It's Nice to Have a Friend. And the entire song is 2 chords, a minor chord and a major chord. That's it, the entire thing. And it's so, like, there's a musical device here about 2 different things working together in a friendship. So this is the youth ensemble.
Good morning. I'm Joel Blum, and I'm here to talk to you about the Share the Plate for the month of November. The organization that will be the recipient is Circles RVA, which I have been participating actively for the last 4 years. I'm hoping that the next 2 weeks we're going to have other participants from Circles to be able to come and tell you their stories firsthand. The vision of Circles is that everyone has enough money, meaning, and friends to thrive. Our local chapter, Circles RVA, is in its 6th year, and it's part of a national initiative, Circles USA, which also has chapters in Canada. The Circles model creates 3-person groups which are called matched circles, and each matched circle consists of a client who's called the leader. This person is economically challenged, but motivated to make significant changes. So along with the leader, there are 2 support members as the rest of the match circle, and they're from the community, and they're called allies. The leader develops goals, and the allies support and hold the leader accountable for 18 months when they work together to work on achieving these goals. These match circles are supported by staff of Circles and a range of resource teams. There are meetings each week with a community meal provided along with planned programming. Circles RVA's other major focus is to identify systemic barriers in the community that hinder people from improving their circumstances, and also work to engage the wider community in efforts to reduce or eliminate these systemic barriers. It's one of the reasons why Circles is really an appropriate organization to have for today's service, because in a sense, it's an example of living the pledge, which you'll be hearing more about. Many Circles leaders have made significant progress through their participation in the program, including improving their work situations, increasing their incomes, obtaining additional education, training, and certifications, starting businesses, even purchasing homes. Leaders also have expanded the support resources available to them in the community, which is called social capital. In addition to working with the leaders, Circles provides programming for leaders' families, including a children's program. Circles RVA certainly reflects our UU values and actions. Please contribute generously, and your donations will be most gratefully received. Thank you.
Please look to the monitors of ways to give. The ushers are now passing the basket. The offering will be taken and most graciously received.
Good morning. I'm Annette Marquis, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Richmond Pledge to End Racism. Anita Lee and I founded wrote the curriculum called Living the Pledge to End Racism. The pledge itself based on a pledge drafted in Birmingham, Alabama, many years ago. I'm going to show a video today. Well, actually, I'm not going to show it, but somebody's going to show the video today about the history of the Pledge to End Racism, how it came about, and where it stands today.
I'm Anita Lee. There were times when sitting in the sanctuary at First Unitarian Universalist left me feeling abandoned and alone. As a Black member of the congregation, I was in serious pain. Reeling from the murder of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin in 2012, I had known and worked with his mother, Sabrina Fulton. The complete exoneration of his killer, George Zimmerman, in July of 2013 was heartbreaking. But right on the heels of that travesty, a rash of killings, 12-year-old Tamir Rice in Cleveland, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, all unarmed, all killed by police. The names and videos just kept coming.
It all started in 2014, November 24th. It was Richmond's first Black Lives Matter march. We were there to protest the killing of Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy in Cleveland, Ohio, and the grand jury's decision not to indict the police officer who killed Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. Angry about what was happening around us, a group of us gathered to talk about how we might engage more members of our congregation in this struggle. Out of that discussion came this question: what if we made a pledge to end racism in Richmond, like they did in Birmingham, Alabama? In 1997, Jim Roch, a young white attorney from Birmingham, Alabama, asked himself, what if people of Birmingham pledged to eliminate racism and prejudice in our community? Could it make a difference? When he returned home, he wrote the Birmingham Pledge. From that moment, his life changed, as did the conversation about race in Birmingham. Today, the Birmingham Pledge appears as a mural on the wall of the Birmingham police station. By the 20th anniversary in 2018, more than 200,000 individuals had signed the Birmingham Pledge. Its influence has been felt in all 50 states and more than 20 countries. So we ask ourselves, what would it mean if Richmond adopted this pledge? We had no idea, but we decided to find out.
Recognizing that change starts with the individual, on December 8, 2014, First Unitarian Universalist held a service during which people were challenged to sign a version of the Birmingham Pledge. Over 200 people signed the pledge that Sunday, and many more have signed it since. After the service, we asked each other, now that we have all these people who have signed the pledge to end racism, what do we do next? That's when Living the Pledge was born. Annette Marquis and I developed a 12-hour curriculum to help participants make meaningful commitments to confronting racism in their everyday lives and changing the racist systems that perpetuate it.
In spring of 2015, we held the first Living the Pledge workshop. Since then, we've held 19 Living the Pledge workshops in the greater Richmond area and launched the first virtual Living the Pledge workshop in August 2020. But we've learned that it doesn't begin or end with taking the Living the Pledge workshop. Each and every one of us must become active in changing the systems and supports that keep racism alive. We must live our pledge every day. Our goal is to build a national movement, a movement of people who have pledged to end racism and are working every day to make it happen. The pledge to end racism has spread from Richmond to other cities around the country. In 2016, on the Living Legacy Civil Rights Pilgrimage, several of us had the honor of meeting Jim Roch, author and founder of the Birmingham Pledge. He expressed how thrilled he was with the work we are doing to further his vision. We hope you'll join us. So I'd like to ask you, how many of you have completed the Living the Pledge workshop? Look at all those hands. Very good. The rest of you have opportunity coming up, and we're going to be talking about that later, but I want to emphasize that Living the Pledge is not a curriculum. Living the Pledge is a lifelong commitment that requires our involvement and engagement every day. It's transformative. It's been transformative in my life, and I know it will be in yours, and even more importantly, in our larger community. So I do hope you'll join us.
Good morning. My name is Reginald Henderson. Richmond is my hometown. So I'd like to share with you from my perspective what the pledge means to me. Let me take you back to 1963. I was 13 years old. We had a beloved president, John F. Kennedy. He espoused love and human rights, equal rights, and for that they assassinated him. That same year, there was another civil rights leader named Malcolm X. In his travels abroad, he went to Mecca and he saw, not all Muslims are black. And he had a paradigm shift in his life, in his civil rights and equal justice work to end racism. For that, they assassinated him. And then in 1968, Bobby Kennedy, powerful attorney general, fought crime. And he was also a fighter for poor people and black people. He was known for that. They killed him too. And then the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights icon, known all over the world, preached nonviolence, peace, and they assassinated him. Now, let's fast forward. Trayvon Martin walking down the street, armed with a bag of Skittles and an iced tea. They murdered him. And his killer was not brought to justice. You know, I've been singing We Shall Overcome for 60 years now. And sometimes I have a problem with the words because I'm not so sure. I feel like, are we really going to overcome? But then along came Anita Lee and Annette Markey. And they took the Birmingham Pledge and they transformed it into the Richmond Pledge. I've been a student of the facilitation process and also one of the facilitators. And I can tell you one thing that the Richmond Pledge is not. It's not a gripe session where somebody's going to bring you in and tell you how bad you are and what you need to do to improve. It's not that at all. But if you take the Richmond Pledge and you go through the workshop, I can promise you that it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes. But if you stick with it, because it's integrity-based, you'll be calling out yourself. You'll be saying, oh, this is where I can improve, because I saw some areas where I could improve. I saw my own biases. And so I invite you to, if you haven't taken the pledge, to do so. And if you have, to keep working every day so that we can overcome. Thank you.
Prayer for Racial Justice by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. When our eyes do not see the gravity of racial injustice, shake us from our slumber and open our eyes, O Lord. When out of fear we are frozen into inaction, give us a spirit of bravery, O Lord. When we try our best but say the wrong things, give us the spirit of humility, O Lord. When the chaos of this dies down, give us a lasting spirit of solidarity, O Lord. When it becomes easier to point fingers outward, help us to examine our own hearts, O Lord. God of truth and your wisdom, enlighten us. God of love and your mercy, forgive us. God of hope and your kindness, heal us. Creator of all people, in your generosity, guide us. Racism breaks your heart. Break our hearts for what breaks yours, O Lord. Ever-present God, you call us to be in relationship with one another and promise to dwell wherever 2 or 3 are gathered. In our community, we are many different people. We come from many different places, have many different cultures. Open our hearts that we may be bold in finding the riches of inclusion and the treasures of diversity among us. We pray in faith.
Good morning. I'm Nikki Rovner, and I've also been asked to talk a little bit about what the Richmond Pledge and living the pledge means to me. I'm a person who has always thought about racism a lot. God, I thought about it so much. I read books and I thought about it, but it really was not clear to me for a really long time what I could do about it. It just seemed like such a massive society-wide problem, and I'm just one person. And I also wasn't sure that I knew what the goal was. I knew that a goal was that I should not be racist, and that's something that I've always been really careful about and try really hard not to be racist, but I also knew that that was not all of what needed to be done. And a number of years ago, I went to a diversity training that my organization provided, and I work in the environmental movement. And this training was called Engaging Across Difference, and it was really, really enlightening. And I learned so much about my privilege through that experience. But at the end of it, this need to do something felt very acute to me. And I came back to Richmond and I remembered, oh, I signed this pledge at church, and oh, they have a workshop called Living the Pledge. Maybe I should take that. And so I did. And it gave me so much hope. And, you know, there are things about it that are hard and challenging. But I came out of the experience with hope because I realized that there are many things I can do. And that's one of the wonderful things about the Living the Pledge workshop, is helping you think about and learn about so many things that you can do. And it made the goal 100% clear, which is in the pledge itself. It is to end racism. We can end racism, and we must. Living the pledge, for me, what it's been since then, and what I've tried to make it is a daily practice, in which I recognize and acknowledge interpersonal racism, sure, yes, but also unconscious bias, which we all have, and also the big institutional systemic racism, the soup that we're all swimming in, that is never going to go away unless we name it. And that really is the commitment that I've made to myself, which is to learn to talk about it. Because for such a long time, it was just in my head. I was just thinking about it. And what I need to do in my daily life, in casual conversations, in serious conversations, and everything in between, is to talk about it. And there are many other things that I can do, and that I want to do, and that I will do. And the Living the Pledge workshop gives you a community in which you can learn about those things and talk about them with each other. And then you have that community going forward. So as others have, I invite you, if you have not taken the Living the Pledge workshop, to do so. The next one's in February. I think it's the 10th and the 24th. And Margaret and I will be sitting outside after the service with a sign up. You can also sign up online at richmondpledge.org. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Margaret Rush, and I've been asked to also talk to you about this. And the first thing that came to mind when I was asked was that the principle I find most compelling among our 8 principles is that about interdependent web of life. We're all a part of that. I also occurred to me Martin Luther King, who said so many wonderful, profound things. The one that resonates most for me, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And we have a lot of oppressions out here. Anti-feminism. I was a baby woman even before Gary Trudeau put that in a Doonesbury strip years ago. Anti-Semitism. My childhood neighborhood was majority Orthodox Jewish. My friends' parents were first-generation Holocaust survivors. And ageism. This one's starting to hit close to home for me now. There are plenty more. I was introduced to racism in the late 1960s when the bus drivers in Rochester, New York, where I grew up, refused to pick up and deliver the black school children to our newly desegregated schools. My parents and some of their friends coordinated a carpool, which made sure the black kids got to school. And because my brother and I were too young to stay at home, and it predated the seatbelt laws, my brother and I were in the cars, stacked like cordwood, with all the other kids getting to school. I thought it was kind of a fun adventure, but it's stuck in my head. Injustice everywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and racism to me is the most insidious. It harms all of us who it touches, the oppressors as well as the oppressed. And it's homegrown. No hyperbole. We white people created racism, and it's my feeling that we need to be the ones to end it. I was an early attendee of Living the Pledge. I then became a facilitator, and now with Nikki, I'm a co-organizer. I've always been active in professional, social, and civil groups which align with my values. About 6 years ago, I stepped away from those activities to focus fully on anti-racism and living the pledge. I feel this is the important work of our lifetimes. It's hard work, it's emotional work, it's uncomfortable work, it's exhausting work, it's never-ending work. Well, at least for now, it's never-ending. Perhaps together, we can work to end racism. It's also the best work you'll ever love. I invite you to sign the pledge, then join us at our next Living the Pledge workshop, as you've now been invited several times. Registration's open. We have another one in May after the February one. The registration for that is not yet open. So many of you raised your hands. I want to encourage you to invite your friends. You know how wonderful the program is. Please bring friends. Thank you very much.
My beloveds, it's no secret that racism has plagued this country for centuries and is deeply rooted in the very fabric of our societies. And as a people of faith, we are called to confront the inequalities and injustices that persist in our world. And the struggle against racism is not a passive one. It requires folks to engage in self-reflection, confront their own biases, and our white siblings must acknowledge how their lives are shaped by privilege and demand that they stand in solidarity with those who have been marginalized and discriminated against. As Unitarian Universalists, we uphold the values of justice, equity, and compassion in all our human relationships. And it is our responsibility, particularly those who have benefited from privilege, to actively engage in the work of anti-racism. I know that is difficult work, but as members of First UU, we take this work and this responsibility seriously. Now, I might get in trouble this morning for saying this, but as a black person in this country and in this faith community, I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of talking about racism. Because you know, we people of color has been tirelessly fighting for our rights and equalities for generations, and our voices are central to the battle of racial justice. And for far too long, we people of color have borne the brunt of racial discrimination and its consequences. Our voices for liberation and our fight to dismantle systemic racism continue, and the struggle to end racism continue. And I don't care what Senator Tim Scott says, who claimed that America is not a racist country. But the burden of dismantling this profoundly entrenched system cannot fall solely on the shoulders of our siblings of color. White folks must also play a vital role in the fight too. It is your moral imperative to recognize your privilege and the unearned advantage of being white in society to perpetuate racial disparity. And by knowing your privileges, you open yourself to the understanding the deep-seated inequality in this country. And by walking in the shoes of your siblings of color, you can empathize with my experience and appreciate the injustices that my people face daily. Now, don't you think that because you call your first black minister of color, or if we brought more people of color through the doors of this church, we will accomplish our goal to end racism? And as white allies in this congregation who made a pledge to end racism, you have the unique responsibility to dismantle the systems of oppression that sustain racism. And as allies, you must actively educate yourself about the history of racism, not only in the city, but also in our Unitarian Universalist faith and how it has impacted communities of colors through the years. And only through deep self-reflection, spiritual grounding, and learning, you can truly grasp the urgency of this battle. We must be willing to engage in uncomfortable conversation about race within our congregation and our broader communities. Now, I know these dialogues can be challenging, complicated, and difficult, but they are essential to breaking down the barriers that sustain racism. And beloved, as we strive to end racism, it's also important that members of this congregation who haven't yet supported the Living the Pledge initiative sign up to attend the next workshop in February. You've heard this morning testimonies about how important Living the Pledge workshop is for our congregation and how attending it and completing the workshop can be transformative. Now, as your senior minister, I can't make you attend the workshop, but I can strongly suggest that you sign up for the next workshop, February the 10th and 24th. And in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, everyone who wants to be a member of this faith community should participate in Living the Pledge workshop. Now, by saying that, I might have lost some members or potential members, but my friends, it's important to understand that the struggle against racism is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing battle that requires constant attention. Attending and completing Living the Pledge workshop is just one step in the journey, and it's not the end of the journey. And if being a part of this faith community is important to you, you must acknowledge that this is a continuing journey. Now, some of you here this morning are watching us on YouTube, maybe just beginning on your journey of understanding what it means to be an anti-racist. This work might push you out of your comfort zone. But don't be afraid to join the fight because you might make mistakes. And don't let the fear of imperfection deter you. You've had plenty of folks in this community who are willing to guide and support you along this journey. And I know this work is hard, but let us remember that our faith calls us to action. We must let our commitment to racial justice be steadfast and our willingness to learn and grow unwavering. We have a moral responsibility to address racial injustice with dedication, empathy, and deep commitment to change. And by doing so, we can be a force in this world. So let's remember the fight against racism is a continuous journey, not a destination, and our commitment to this cause must be relentless, and it's required us to play an active role in transforming our society. So now I'm going to do a Baptist thing. I'm inviting all of you who are committed to the anti-racism work that we're doing here at First UU to come to the altar and sign the pledge. If you signed it 9 years ago, I ask you to recommit yourself to this life-transforming anti-racism work. And if this is your first time signing the pledge, I'm asking you to commit to doing the work and in the fight to dismantle racism. Again, it is hard work, but you have a group of anti-racist warriors that will walk side by side with you on this journey. So before you come forward, please look to the monitor, and together, let us read the pledge to end racism. Okay. I believe that every person has worth as an individual. I believe that every person is entitled to dignity and respect regardless of race and color. I believe that every thought and every act of racial prejudice is harmful. If it's my thoughts or act, then it's harmful to me as well to others. Therefore, from this day forward, I will strive to daily to eliminate racial prejudices from our thoughts and action. I will discourage racial prejudices. I will treat all people with dignity and respect. I will commit to working with others to transform the greater Richmond region into a place that treats people of all races, ethnicity, and culture with justice, equity, and compassion. And I will strive daily to honor this pledge, knowing that the world would be a better place. Okay. Now, starting with those on my left, as you are willing, please rise and come to the altar and then circle back to your seats. may this congregation be a beacon of hope and love in this world as we actively work to dismantle racism and thrive for a more just, equitable, and inclusive society. Together, we can create a world where all are treated with respect and dignity they deserve. May this be so.
Our final reading is by Jonalu Johnston. We shall overcome. When we can truly celebrate the diversity of contributions and talents offered by all people, we shall overcome hatred and prejudice and oppression. When we can truly extend our hands to one another in loving acceptance, we shall overcome the past that haunts us now. Living in peace and freedom, we shall overcome the wrongs that have happened and the debts left unpaid. Let us join together in our commitment to overcome. Let us say together, Amen.
Thank you, Lynn. Before I give the benediction, I'll take a moment to honor and recognize the godmothers of Living the Pledge, Anita Lee and Annette Markey. Anita is not here with us this morning, but her husband Jim is. So Jim, pass the word. Their initiative has enriched this community and moved our congregation from merely talking about how to end racism to taking action doing the hard work. Annette and Anita's leadership has taken significant steps towards fostering inclusivity and understanding, creating a more compassionate environment for all. So Anita and Annette. Thank you for your tireless dedication to the anti-racism work here at First UU and your devotion to this congregation and the greater Unitarian Universalist Association. Your efforts has enriched our faith community, and we are so grateful for all that you do. Now, please rise for the benediction. May we see all it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For not if not us, who? If not now, when? This is the answering cry of justice with the work of peace. This is the redeeming pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do, and this is what we call to answer now. To be barriers and the bridge, to be the living embodiment of our principles, to be about the work of building the beloved community, to be the people of intention and the people of conscience. Now let us sing our closing hymn, I Need You to Survive, and if you are comfortable, join the hands of your neighbor next to you.